The exploration of human sexuality extends beyond the modern era, weaving its narrative through the deepest corridors of history. Contrary to popular belief, the notion of sexual pleasure has not been confined to contemporary discourse, but has existed for millennia. Archaeological discoveries have revealed that ancient civilizations engaged with sexuality in multifaceted ways, embedding it within cultural practices, religious rituals, and personal experiences. One of the most fascinating aspects of this exploration is the discovery of ancient sex toys, artifacts that stand as silent testimonies to humanity's enduring relationship with intimacy and desire. From prehistoric phallic objects to elaborately crafted devices from ancient Rome and China, these artifacts challenge modern perceptions of sexual conservatism in the past. Instead of viewing sexuality as taboo, many ancient societies embraced pleasure as an essential component of life, spirituality, and even health. This documentary delves deep into the archaeological evidence of ancient sex toys, examining their cultural significance, craftsmanship, and the ways they illuminate the intimate lives of our ancestors. The origins of human engagement with sexual pleasure can be traced back to prehistoric times well before the establishment of structured civilizations. One of the most renowned examples is the Venus Figurines, a collection of small statuettes depicting voluptuous female forms, found across Europe and dating back to approximately 28,000 BCE. While their exact function remains debated, some researchers argue that these figurines could have served as fertility totems, representations of goddess worship, or even as erotic aids symbolizing sexual desire and pleasure. Beyond figurines, phallic-shaped objects have been unearthed in prehistoric contexts. A notable discovery includes a stone object found in the Hohle Fels cave in Germany, estimated to be around 28,000 years old. Measuring about 20 centimeters in length and carved from siltstone, this artifact exhibits clear signs of wear, and could plausibly be considered an early example of a sex toy. Some archaeologists suggest that these objects were not only representations of fertility, but were possibly used for physical pleasure, reflecting a pragmatic understanding of human needs even in prehistoric communities. The ancient Egyptians held complex beliefs surrounding sexuality, integrating it into both their mythology and daily life. Sexual pleasure was regarded not only as a natural human inclination, but also as an aspect of divine power. Deities like Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, were often associated with sensuality and eroticism. Archaeological evidence from Egypt suggests the presence of objects that may have been used for sexual pleasure. Ivory and stone phallic artifacts have been discovered in tombs, likely included as part of the deceased's possessions for use in the afterlife. These objects were often intricately carved, suggesting that their value extended beyond mere functionality to symbolize vitality and rebirth. Papyrus scrolls and temple reliefs also depict scenes of intimacy and eroticism, indicating that sexual pleasure was integrated into religious rituals and everyday life. Texts such as the Turin erotic papyrus provide visual representations of sexual acts, demonstrating a candid approach to human desire. Scholars suggest that such imagery reflected not just humor or entertainment, but also served as an acknowledgement of sexuality as a life-affirming force. In contrast to the often subdued representations found in other cultures, ancient Greece and Rome embraced sexuality with remarkable openness. The Greeks celebrated erotic love through art, literature, and philosophical discourse. Texts by philosophers like Plato and Aristophanes openly discussed themes of desire, while poetry from Sappho and Anacreon extolled the pleasures of intimacy. Archaeological findings reveal that ancient Greeks utilized various objects for sexual stimulation, including olisbos, dildos crafted from materials such as leather, wood, and stone. These objects are mentioned in Greek literature and depicted in pottery art, suggesting their common use in both personal and communal settings. The Romans inherited much of the Greeks' open attitudes toward sexuality but infused it with their distinct cultural practices. Erotic art from Pompeii and Herculaneum, preserved under volcanic ash, showcases explicit sexual imagery and artifacts including phallic amulets and bronze dildos. These items often carried symbolic meanings beyond mere pleasure. Phallic imagery was believed to ward off evil and bring prosperity, a testament to the Romans' intertwining of sexuality with superstitious and religious beliefs. Public bathhouses, common in Roman society, also served as spaces for social interaction and sexual encounters. Frescoes and mosaics found in these spaces depict intimate scenes that reflect the normalization of sexual pleasure within the daily lives of Roman citizens. The craftsmanship of erotic artifacts from this period demonstrates not only their functionality, but also their role as objects of art and status. In East Asian cultures, sexuality was often intertwined with spiritual and philosophical beliefs, particularly within the frameworks of Taoism in China and Shintoism in Japan. Ancient Chinese texts such as the Classic of the Plain Girl detail sexual practices aimed at achieving harmony between yin and yang energies. According to Taoist beliefs, sexual pleasure was not merely a physical experience, but a means of spiritual cultivation and longevity. Archaeological discoveries from ancient China include jade and ivory dildos found in burial sites of the Han Dynasty, which spanned from 206 BCE to 220 CE. These objects were meticulously crafted and believed to serve dual purposes: personal pleasure and spiritual balance. The use of luxurious materials like jade also indicates the high regard in which these objects were held, often associated with wealth and refinement. In Japan, the Shunga Art tradition during the Edo period, which lasted from 1603 to 1868, offers a vivid portrayal of sexuality. While not physical artifacts in the traditional sense, these erotic woodblock prints served both as instructional material and as entertainment. Depictions of sexual aids within Shunga art suggest the existence of such devices in Japanese society, used both for individual enjoyment and enhancing intimacy between partners. India's ancient approach to sexuality is deeply rooted in spiritual and philosophical traditions. The most iconic representation of this integration is the Kama Sutra, attributed to the scholar Vatsyayana and written between the 3rd and 5th centuries CE. Often mischaracterized as merely a manual of sexual positions, the Kama Sutra explores the art of living, including relationships, love, and sexual pleasure. Archaeological evidence from India includes terracotta and stone artifacts depicting sexual acts as well as phallic symbols linked to Shiva lingam worship. These symbols, while primarily religious, also reflect an acknowledgement of the generative power of sexuality. Temples such as those in Khajuraho and Konark display intricate carvings that celebrate eroticism as an essential part of spiritual experience. Moreover, Ayurvedic texts mention the use of aphrodisiacs and sexual aids aimed at enhancing pleasure and maintaining health. These texts suggest a holistic approach to intimacy, where physical pleasure was seen as beneficial for both body and spirit. The rise of Christianity in medieval Europe brought about a significant shift in attitudes towards sexuality. Religious doctrines often portrayed sexual pleasure as sinful unless directed toward procreation within the confines of marriage. This period witnessed the suppression of overt expressions of eroticism, leading to a decline in the open use and display of sexual artifacts. However, archaeological evidence suggests that private practices continued to thrive beneath the surface of social conservatism. Wooden and leather dildos from the Middle Ages have been discovered, often hidden away in personal belongings. Literary works like the Decameron by Giovanni Boccaccio and Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer subtly address themes of desire and pleasure, indicating that human sexuality persisted as a quiet undercurrent within society. The early modern period, particularly the Renaissance, saw a gradual re-emergence of eroticism in art and literature. Erotic paintings, sculptures, and texts flourished among the elite, with objects like ladies' companions, a euphemism for dildos, being mentioned in private correspondence and diaries. Despite religious restrictions, these artifacts highlight an enduring human fascination with pleasure and intimacy. Contemporary archaeology has begun to reassess the significance of ancient sexual artifacts, moving beyond simplistic interpretations rooted in moral judgments. Recent research emphasizes the importance of understanding these objects within their cultural and historical contexts, acknowledging that ancient societies often possessed far more nuanced views of sexuality than previously assumed. The study of ancient sex toys offers profound insights into human history, revealing not only patterns of personal pleasure but also broader social, spiritual, and political dynamics. These artifacts challenge modern assumptions about the past, inviting us to reconsider the universality of sexual expression across time and space. In recent decades, museums and academic institutions have begun to showcase these artifacts more openly, fostering discussions about the historical importance of sexuality. Exhibitions such as The History of Sex at the British Museum and scholarly works by researchers like Bettina Arnold and Sarah Bond have contributed to destigmatizing the study of erotic artifacts. The archaeological record of sexual pleasure offers a rich tapestry of human experience, spanning prehistoric rituals, divine expressions in ancient Egypt, the philosophical engagements of East Asia, and the hidden desires of medieval Europe. The study of ancient sex toys is not merely a curiosity, but a vital aspect of understanding human culture and history. By unearthing these intimate artifacts, archaeologists provide a window into the private lives of our ancestors, revealing that the pursuit of pleasure, intimacy, and connection transcends time. These discoveries challenge contemporary taboos, reminding us that sexuality has always been an integral part of the human journey. The archaeology of pleasure, therefore, serves as both a testament to human creativity and a celebration of the enduring complexities of desire throughout civilization.